Hey guys, welcome back to Last Movie Standing. In our ever-growing series of DVDs that have never come to Blu-ray, this is part 2 of that series. I think I've done a couple different ones, more themed ones. This is just a random mix. And in my first video I did like this, I had to change the title in the description to put in the US because after I made that video, I found half of those came to Blu-rays in foreign countries. And that video was really what started my journey into importing from Germany, which has been such a fun ride ever since. But I want to go through some new movies today that are a lot smaller and movies that probably not a lot of people have heard about. I'm hoping a lot of people in this audience that have heard of these movies, but I totally get some of these are obscure, and some of these were just blockbuster finds back in the day. Some of these I just saw on streaming and I'm like, I gotta get the DVD. And some of these I really went on 4K. In fact, all of these I went on 4K, but some way more than others. Especially this first one. I only know 2 people who have ever seen this movie that I know personally. Employee of the Month. No, not the one with Jessica Simpson and Dane Cook. I think these came out the same year, honestly. Or one's a year, they're like a year apart. But Employee of the Month. I don't think this was a theatrical release. I found this at a Blockbuster. But it's got Christina Applegate, Kevin Dillon. Matt Dillon. Kevin Dillon. Matt Dillon. Steve Zahn. There's a strip club scene in here with Steve Zahn, which is absolutely it's so funny. This is it's a heist movie, and it's very much the ending is like, do you remember Wild Things? Like, slight spoilers, kind of, but I mean, it's just twist after twist after twist after twist at the end. This was a Sundance movie. Okay, that's why it didn't really get theatrical, but this is an independent film. Went to Sundance in 2004. Great movie. If you have not seen this, very high recommend. Very high recommend on that one. Charlie Bartlett. Rest in peace, Anton. Is it Anton Yelchin? I can never just remember his last name. I want to say this is one of my favorites of his movies. Charlie Bartlett. This was really also not his comeback, but Robert Downey Jr. plays the school principal in this movie, and he is so good. This was, when did this movie come out? 2007. So I think this was the same year as Iron Man 1. But this is very much an independent film. I don't know if this came to theaters. I think this was a Blockbuster find. For me, Kat Dennings is in this movie. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But Charlie Bartlett is about kind of a rich kid just going through it. I say rich, his mom's rich, but they're weird, and he falls for this girl, Kat Dennings, and he's not really a troublemaker in school, but kind of, and Robert Downey Jr. plays the principal who doesn't like him at all, but he's kind of a drug dealer. That's what he is. It's been a minute since I've seen it. He's selling pills to kids in school. Such a good movie. Like, you can just tell by this artwork, it's such a fun movie. But this movie does not have a Blu-ray anywhere. Who did this? MGM. I don't know. That's Amazon, right? Doesn't Amazon own MGM? I don't know, but very, very high recommend on Charlie Bartlett. Metro with Eddie Murphy. Now, a lot of people are deep diving into Eddie Murphy right now because his new movie, Axel F. Awful name, by the way, for Beverly Hills Cop 4. I've not watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. But Metro is a movie that I don't really think many people know about or have seen. This is from 1990. I don't remember. I'll put it up on the screen. This has Michael Rappaport in it, who plays his partner. Michael Rappaport, of course, you would know him from True Romance. But Eddie Murphy is playing a cop. He's playing a negotiator in this movie, and this is a very serious movie. This is like Eddie Murphy playing a cop, but trying to do something a little bit more serious. I want to say kind of Die Hardy-ish, like not Die Hard 1, but more of that kind of character. I mean, there's comedy in this. Obviously, it's Eddie Murphy, but if this got a Blu-ray, would I get it? Is the question. This is the question I'm going to ask myself. Would I get it? I revisited this recently. I don't know. I don't know if this movie is good enough for me to upgrade it to Blu-ray if it ever came out. Would I? Maybe. For nostalgic reasons, but it's not really... He doesn't age very well. Sadly, for me personally. I don't think it's aged very well. I like fun Eddie Murphy, and this is... It's very small bits of fun Eddie Murphy. It's not the most serious, so... I didn't want to just put movies I absolutely loved. I wanted to just find movies that I owned that weren't available. And this is, sadly, this is one I don't think it aged well. I may revisit if the Blu-ray ever gets announced. I will revisit this again just to check to see if it's like it was just that one viewing. But I remember being like, I don't remember it being this. I don't know, something about it. This movie, I'm shocked doesn't have a Blu-ray right now because it's from 2017, and it's crazy when you think that was a while ago, but I mean for me it feels like it was just 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know, but Ghost House. This is an independent film. Who did this? Vertical Entertainment. I don't know who owns Vertical Entertainment, but it's got the main chick from Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. So that's the reason I watched it. And she does get naked in this movie. Just letting it be known out there. One of the reasons I saw this movie. But it's actually a really good movie. It's about this couple who go to, is it Taiwan or Indonesia? I forget where they go to. Thailand. Taiwan. Oh, God. I sound so bad right now. They go to Thailand. That's right. Not I don't think they go to Bangkok, but they go like on the outside, and they meet this. Think of It Follows. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. I don't really like It Follows, but it's kind of like that. So basically, this couple, they get engaged. They get engaged on the trip, but they're in vacation in Thailand, and they meet these two guys who are also, they're not Americans. This is two American couple, but they meet these like English guys, which I think is really weird that they just really want to hang out with these strangers this whole time. And these strangers bring them, she wants to go explore, and they're like, oh, we have this really cool thing. It's like this ghost house, which I think is like a real thing in Thailand. And if you go up to the ghost house, the house, it like you'll get not possessed, but haunted. And basically what they're trying to do is, what I'm saying by It Follows is you have to pass the curse along to save yourself. Really interesting. The visuals are not that beautiful. It's very desaturated of a film. Kind of like, I want to say that, I mean kind of bland of colors. Maybe a Blu-ray would enhance that. A 4K would definitely enhance that. But underrated horror movie, I think, Ghost House. If you haven't seen it, give it a chance. But if you're not into DVDs, you're not going to watch any of these. Fair Game from 1995. There are so many Fair Game movies. There's the Fair Game. I think, is it Australian? The one from the 80s. I think it's an Australian movie. With the girl tied naked on like the front of a car. Very, very Australian. There's this one from 1995, and then there's another one from the early 2000s or mid 2000s with Sean Penn and Naomi Watts, I think. This one is with Cindy Crawford and is it William Baldwin, the other Baldwin brother? It's okay, I gotta talk about this scene, because this scene alone should make you want to watch this movie. This was when 95. Selma Hayek has a very small cameo in this movie at the beginning. And oh my God, I will say this is one of the most beautiful she has ever looked. Like Desperado level. Like, oh my God. She is gorgeous. She's like an ex-girlfriend of William Baldwin, and she comes in, she's like breaking up with him, like while he's like in the office, and there's like an escaped convict, and oh my god, it's a really good scene, and she's very Latina. It's so good. She looks amazing. She looks way better than Cindy Crawford. You almost want to just watch that one scene. But Cindy Crawford plays a lawyer in this movie who's like, I forget the specific reason, she saw something she wasn't supposed to, or did, I think something, and the bad guys are trying to kill her, so William Baldwin has to protect her. There is a really dope sex scene, like on a train with these lights. Oh, the lighting is so good. You do see Cindy Crawford naked, which isn't nothing new. She's a model. She's been naked so many times. But I think this is the only movie she's been naked in. But just the love scene on the what do you call it, on the train was dope. But when they try to kill her, there's a scene where they put a bomb in her apartment, and I bet you they only had one shot for this, and they had like 10 cameras around, and you see her body just like flip. I'm like, I don't know if that was a stunt double or a dummy. It doesn't look like a dummy, but oh my god, that is such a dope scene. This needs a 4K, to be honest. Story is just kind of meh. It's very 90s, but if you haven't seen it, just watch it for Selma Hayek. For the 5 minutes she's in there. She's gorgeous. Oh my god. And of course, Cindy Crawford naked in that train scene. So good. Which one do I want to... Okay. I don't know if I've talked about this one before. I've talked about Tomcats. I've overdone Tomcats. But Buying the Cow. I don't think I've talked about this on this channel. Buying the Cow with another Jerry O'Connell. Is it Jerry Connolly? I always say Connolly, but I mean O'Connell. Jerry O'Connell movie with Ryan Reynolds. Oh, right. I will just say this is, I think, the funniest Ryan Reynolds movie you will ever see. Very funny. This is like early in his career. Buying the Cow. Have you ever heard the expression, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? It's literally what it means. Guys getting engaged, doesn't want to. It follows different storylines. You got what's her name? She plays Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat. She's gorgeous. I love her. Alyssa Milano, gorgeous in this movie. I think she plays a stripper. It's been a minute since I've seen it. Ryan Reynolds. Okay, so there's a scene where Ryan Reynolds, he's a playboy. He's just... Is this the one where he does the tuck? The tuck, that was like a thing in the early 2000s. When did this movie come out? 2000. That was like a thing back then where guys would like tuck their thing in and show it. Who did it? Jason Mewes did it in Jay and Silent Bob. Is it Strike Back? Shawn Wayans did it in Scary Movie 2. It was Scary Movie 201. I think it was 2. And then Ryan Reynolds did it in this one. So funny. But Ryan Reynolds loves girls in this. But he wakes up one morning, like complete crazy night out. And he wakes up and there's a gay dude who walks in. And he's convinced he slept with this gay dude. And he's losing his mind. He is like... He didn't really sleep with the gay dude. The gay dude was like the roommate to the girl he slept with. But he can't remember anything. Because he got so drunk. I think drunk or high. And he spends the whole movie convince himself that maybe he's gay. And then he tries to like go with it. And it's so funny. And then at the very end, he realizes he's not gay. And then it's just like pound town. But Buying the Cow. Recommend. This one needs a Blu-ray. It really does. Last but not least, Mom and Dad Save the World. This is an HBO. I think it's an HBO original movie. So I'm surprised it got a physical media release. This movie's so good. This is so good. This is from God, when is this movie from? I'll have to put it right here. So the DVD came out in 2005. But this movie's definitely from the 90s. Is it from the 80s even? So good. This is one of these movies that's like, I don't want to compare it to Spaceballs, but it's up there with Spaceballs. Personally, I know this is going to be really controversial, but I'm just going to say it. I like this movie better than Spaceballs. I don't think Spaceballs aged very well personally. This movie holds up very much so. You got the animatronics, you got the puppets, it's not Darth Vader, it's more like fantasy. So basically what this movie is about is this what's his name? John Lovitz plays the king of this world. Basically this world of idiots on another planet, and he's just like looking through his microscope or whatever, and he sees this woman that he wants to marry. So, who is it? Jeffrey Jones, who was in Beetlejuice. He was in a bunch of movies. He was the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think he's canceled. I think so. I think I was reading something with the new Beetlejuice movie 2 coming out. He's canceled because of some Me Too stuff or something. I don't want to say the words, but he's in trouble and canceled. But he's in this movie, and he's really good. And basically, him and his wife are going on vacation. They're on the drive, and they get abducted. And the wife is just going with it. They're in space in their little Volkswagen. She goes, "Oh, let me take a picture with you next to Saturn. Who's going to believe you really were?" It's so funny. And then they got these little dog people, these little fish people. It's one of these movies that could only have been made back in the day. Like, very Labyrinth meets Spaceballs kind of a thing. Mom and Dad Save the World. This is so good. I would love for this to get a Blu-ray. It really needs to. I don't know how many HBO, like, made for HBO movies have got upgrades. So yeah, these are just a couple movies, again, that have never been available on Blu-ray, and I don't know if they're ever going to. These are much smaller movies than any of the ones I've talked about before, and I feel like are way lesser known. And I've said this before, I feel like DVDs are like the new redheaded stepchild of the physical media community, which I don't agree with at all. Now, do I continue to buy DVDs? No, but only if they're only available on DVD. And the DVD is not like $80, because we're getting to that point now where DVDs are just going way up. But I am very much in that camp of, I'm going to keep the DVDs I have, especially these that are only available on the format. Now, I think some of these have VHSs, but no HD versions. They probably do on streaming, but that's not what this channel is about. We want physical. We want the hard copies in our hands. So I hope these get a Blu-ray. If we get a 4K announcement for one of these, I will throw a party.